Modeling consumer behavior is all about studying the big picture effects of consumer choices on the overall economy. As we discussed in class, consumption makes up 70% of GDP, so it's important to see what effects consumption spending has. In the traditional view, a tax cut increases consumer spending by boosting disposable income, but it also reduces national saving. The Sala model shows us that lowering saving leads to lower investing, which over time means a smaller steady-state capital stock and lower output. In the short run, the ISLM model tells us that higher consumption shifts the IS curve to the right. With sticky prices, this raises output and lowers unemployment. However, the trade balance worsens. Lower national saving means we borrow more from abroad, causing a trade deficit. According to the Mundell-Fleming model, this leads us to a stronger dollar and lower net exports, which offsets some of the initial boost to output and unemployment. So, while a tax cut stimulates demand in the short run, it has mixed effects on long-term growth and the trade balance. The Ricardian view assumes that consumers are forward-looking. Tax cuts do not change, and consumers behave because they do not want to view it as a change in income, just a rescheduling of their tax burden. The big picture with the Ricardian equivalence is that tax cuts do not alter consumption spending. When consumers save the extra money that they don't have to spend on their taxes, this private saving offsets the decrease in public saving, aka the lost government tax revenue, leading to national saving, and yeah.
Yes, national saving unchanged.
The Keynes consumption function has three main ideas. His first was that a person's marginal propensity to consume will fall between 0 and 1, meaning that when there's a $1 increase in a person's salary, that person, if rational, will save some of it and spend some of it. His second main idea was that the ratio between income and consumption is a person's average propensity to consume. He expected that people with higher incomes will save more than they spend. And finally, he believed that income is the primary component of consumption and that interest rates don't really affect people's spending habits. Modigliani's life cycle hypothesis, it assumes that consumers are forward-looking. Consumption depends on lifetime income, and saving allows consumption smoothing. People save while working and to save when retired. A problem with this model is that people don't know when they're going to die. Additionally, medical costs and bequests are not accounted for. Finally, Milton Friedman's permanent income agrees with the life cycle hypothesis that consumption does depend on just current Y, but on permanent income. People save their transitory income like bonuses. On average, high-income households have lower average propensities to consume, but there is constant average propensity to consume in long time series data.
In Robert Hall's random walk hypothesis, it says that consumption depends on rational expectations. If permanent income hypothesis is correct and if consumers have rational expectations, then changes in consumption over time would be unpredictable. Hall assumes that people want to smooth their consumption, so the only way for people to change their income would be as a result of quote-unquote surprises in their lifetime income. Finally, Leibson and his pull of instant gratification. This is an example of behavioral economics. Leibson believes that consumers have time inconsistent preferences. In other words, preferences may change over time. In class, we talked about the smoker's problem. Like, smokers always say they're going to quit tomorrow and they never do. Because of this, people keep putting off saving. Leibson thinks that the government may need to promote saving. An example of this would be the 401k program, or play into the time inconsistency displayed by consumers. An example of this would be the Save More Tomorrow program.